All right, Alana, Jaylo, tell me about your morning.
It was a little bit crazy. Well, maybe crazy is the wrong word. It was a little bit um it's a little bit stressful because I was trying to make sure that I got things added to my order. And this morning I was able to add some veggies and some napkins to my order. So
From
I was
Walmart?
able to get that. No, from Instacart. I think the next time what I'll do is if I'm going to order groceries the night before, I'm going to go with Walmart because they have a much wider selection of things that Fred Meyer doesn't have.
Nice.
Yes.
I was supposed to come over and see you today, and then
I know. I'm
yesterday,
still a little bit upset. Yeah.
Yeah, I canceled, but I really didn't have much of a choice. And you know why? Because yesterday afternoon, our governor, Kate Brown, gave a press conference and released new guidelines for social distancing. And basically, what it meant for us is if I wanted to come over, I could have, but I would have had to wear a face mask the entire time, except for when eating, and we would have had to practice social distancing throughout my visit, which is kind of odd to do if you're in a relationship.
And that's really hard to do. It's very hard to do. And I told you that, wouldn't it be funny if you were out on the street corner or maybe you were like out on the curb or whatever close to the building, and I opened the window and I said, "Hey, how's it going?" Give you food wrapped up in foil. Give you a paper plate. Here's your meal. Okay, there. You have to go now.
I'll tell you what I tried to do this morning because I thought about it some more, babes. And I got up early and I thought to myself, well, I wonder if Kate Brown has a Twitter account. And if so, I could just go on it and ask her, I'm a blind guy and my girlfriend's blind. What would it be like if we met up in person? Because if you're blind, you kind of have to have hand contact to do certain things, and not just erotic.
You do, especially if the other person has no vision. Okay,
so I go on Twitter. Kate Brown does have an account, but from what it looked like, she hasn't updated it since April. So I figured, she's not going to get back to me just anything on her in 7 months.
But I think you should try it, though, just to see if you even get far with it, because that is a good question. Because, like, for example, when this whole I call it self-isolation, honestly, because you're pretty much isolating yourself from people, right? As far away as possible, 6 feet at the, 6 feet at the least.
Minimum.
But you're still, or the minimum, rather. But you're still pretty much isolating yourself from people. And I wonder, because if I'm walking in the store, and obviously I usually ask for assistance and I get pretty good service, they're going to have to be somewhat close to me. Even if I'm holding a cart, holding the other end of the cart, they will have to be on the other end, but it's not going to be 6 feet away. It's nearly impossible to do that. And then, if they're going to show me something, because what parcels have done, and I think it's a good idea, is they'll put an object in my hand, and they'll say, this is what the size is, and it's this, it's this amount of stuff in the bag or in the box. Is that what you want, right? Like if they hand me like a bunch of bananas.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to know how many bananas are in that bunch if they don't give it to me? Or, the least they could do is tell me, but if they tell me, I have to trust what they say is true. It's a little bit confusing.
What I'm thinking about doing, babes, since the Twitter thing doesn't seem feasible, I might go on the Oregon Health Authority's website and see if I can email somebody and ask them a question like that.
I really think you should, because, they're not taking into account, sighted people can distance themselves from each other, no problem. But if a sighted person and a blind person are together, or two blind people are together, how's it going to work?
Yeah, because I need to see you at some point in the near future.
I know.
It looks like it's not going to be until after you get back from the trip. So it's going to be about 3 weeks before we actually...
Well, wait a minute. What about...
Unless we get together... Mm-hmm. I was just about to say, babe, we had talked about the possibility of maybe having lunch together early this week, like on Tuesday.
Yeah, and I jumped the gun because I was going to say it. Actually, I was going to say it before you said it. But,
I know, babe. I heard that, and everybody else.
Yeah, so we'll just have to see how this thing plays out, because it was confusing in the beginning, and it's almost like we're back to where we started in the beginning. And
for us, it basically is. Like, she lined out a few things. So this time, she said that she is going to have the cops enforce this. So if your neighbors call on you or you're seen with a certain amount of people, the police do have the right to step in now.
That is just not...
But
I think it's an invasion of privacy, honestly.
Yeah, you can make that argument. The other thing is sporting events are still allowed to go on, and I believe hair salons are still allowed to be open. And the media was kind of misreporting it last night too.
The local station?
Yeah, so here's what happened. They said that these changes are effective on November 18th, making it sound like, oh, you can still see each other in person. And if you listen to the press conference, she says that for restaurants, it's November 18th through December 2nd, and restaurants should start preparing now, but individuals should act on this immediately. But by lumping it in, but by lumping it in with the individual mandates and with the restaurant mandates, it kind of made it sound like you guys still have the weekend to party and do whatever.
Yeah, that's why it's so confusing. It is confusing to me, and it's absolutely, I think, unnecessary at this point. I don't know if I would go that far. It definitely is confusing, though. No, but I mean, how long is this going to be where, and I asked that question last night, and I think you would agree, how long are we going to be hiding in our houses and hiding behind our masks? How long does this chaos, or I don't even know what to call it. How long is this thing going to be going on? I mean, there has to be, something has to give eventually.
Okay, so my theory on this, babe, is that next fall things will start to return to normal because we have the vaccine coming, but the first doses are for, high-risk groups and first responders. But according to Dr. Fauci, which I know you're not a fan of his,
no, I'm not.
He claims that the doses should be freely available to the public by summertime. But it's going to take a few months to immunize everybody and, all that stuff.
I don't know.
I put in that stuff. It's going to take a few months. You didn't say that, but I did.
Right. I'm thinking it might even be even before the summer. And if it is before the summer, then that would be great. But I think we're just going to have to see where this all plays out because we both of us don't know what's going to happen with that.
No.
At this point, we don't know yet. But the vaccine, from what I understand, sounds pretty promising.
We're going to have to see, babies, but I'm hopeful.
And hopefully it won't be one of those vaccines where people have to take it every year because they still haven't. And you know how I feel about the whole flu vaccine, which I don't think is really a vaccine if you really think about it. You have to give yourself that shot every year if you choose to do that, and I choose not to do that. But if you give yourself that shot every year, you don't know if you're going to get it or if you're going to be immune to the flu. And anyway, I can go on and on and on in circles on that. I don't want to.
It's a crazy thing.
I don't want to bore anyone with my. I know. I want to get back to. I want to get back to going to parks and going on long walks and eating with friends at restaurants and going to people's houses.
So you know, babe, how much I love the Blues Festival. At this point, what do you think the odds are that there's going to be an in-person Blues Festival July 4th weekend of 2021?
I think it's too soon to say, Bubs.
I'd say it's 50-50 right now.
I'm not even going to make a prediction. I think it's too soon to say.
Okay.
It's not even December yet. We haven't even passed Thanksgiving.
Right, but the other thing you have to consider is they have to start booking bands early, and bands and artists aren't going to go on tour if there's no place to tour except for like one spot. So it could be one of those things to where they cancel the Blues Festival, not because there's a problem with us here in Oregon, but because there's not enough venues for these artists to perform at to justify the cost of coming out here.
Here's another thing to think about that I haven't brought up, and I just thought of it now. I know that you're one of those people that likes to be at the Blues Festival all day for 4 days, which is nuts. I can only handle one day, okay? Because I love music festival. I love a music festival like that. But what if we have to have a plan if one of us gets really exhausted by the heat? Because remember, you said that like in the past few years it's been really, really hot, like super hot.
In like 2016 and 2017 it was, yes.
Because 2015 was a really, really hot summer for me.
I did not go that year, but it was super hot.
You didn't go that year, okay. So what do you think, and I know this is like way down the road from right now, but what do you think our plan should be? Because I know you want to go all 4 days. I can only handle one day because 4 days is just too much for me, and there's too many people and way too many people in my space. What do you think we should do? Do you think we should check the weather every day, or because we can always not do the? I mean, we'll have to pick a day anyway.
Honestly, honestly, my plan is just to let's go and just deal with it. But also, I'm a guy and a little bit more rebellious in that way.
Yeah, I can't be on board with you on that one.
Okay, but we'll deal with that when it gets closer. There's another possibility that I've thought of as far as the Blues Festival goes, and that's the idea of they might have staggered performances, right? So, for example, I already have a ticket for next year because I bought my pass, the weekend pass for 2020, and anybody who did that gets to go in 2021. But they might have it to where, okay, because we want people to get to experience it, and because coronavirus still might be a thing, you can go all 4 days, but you can only go for like 4 or 5 hours for each of the 4 days instead of going to the full show. It might be something like that. That's another possibility that I could see them doing.
You mean to kind of separate, keep things separate. I could deal with that. I mean, I mean, as long as there's...
So like my thought is maybe they have it to where it's 12 to 5, and then 5 to 6 you're clearing the first group of people out, and then 6 to 10 the second group gets to come in and watch the show.
I have no problem with that, really. I do.
Well, I mean,
I don't have...
I prefer going the whole time, but if that's what it is, I get it.
I understand. I mean, I would rather, take as much of it as I can. I can only handle one day, but it does get really crowded. You would agree with me on that one, right? It does get really, really crowded, and it gets really hot. That.
I'm like the only person I know who doesn't.
I do, because it's like, if it's 90-degree weather, I don't want to be around like too many people. It's just so, it's like the same thing as if you're in like a crowded arena, right, or an auditorium, and you're in a concert, and after a couple hours, I don't want to be around a lot of people because it's so hot. It is.
I hear you, but you're also hearing live music and getting to respond to that, which is cool, and I don't know.
No, and don't get me wrong, it was really, really, really fun last year to go with you, and the weather was just perfect, but it's not going to be perfect all the time. And if it's 95 degrees outside, I'm not going. There's no way.
I might have to go.
I'm not going.
Oh.
I will pick a day. If it turns out that we have a blues festival, I will pick a day, but I will pick that day. But I'm not going for the other three because I just can't. It's just too much.
My prediction is we'll know by mid-February whether or not it's going on.
I still don't think they should have canceled it until they knew for sure.
No, but here's the thing, babe. A lot of people come in from out of town, and they wanted to give those people a heads up.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
It sucked this year. Oh, my God. I hated it. I mean, it was kind of fun listening to K-Boo replay some past performances, but
it was good.
I really wanted to be there. Yeah.
Well,
and now I'm stuck at home this weekend.
It was not under our control. Huh?
Oh, babe. No, I said now I'm stuck at home this weekend. But you didn't listen.
Yes.
Yes, babes.
Yes, I know. We're both stuck at home this weekend.
Well, I'm more stuck than you are, but I hear what you're saying, babe.
I know. No, but I mean, I understand, but I haven't had my own space for 4 weeks, and it's driving me.
I know, but that's going to change after Thanksgiving, though.
I hope so.
What do you mean you hope so?
No. I'm just saying that because if said relative says I want to come back with you, I need. No,
babe. You have to put down the law. At some point, you do have to stand up for yourself and be like, no, I need to spend some time with my boyfriend and just the two of us, and sometimes he might whip it out, okay?
Bugs.
And by it, I mean my phone.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it's Yeah, but you have quite a sense of humor, Bubs.
Thank you, babes.
Right.
Yes. But you got to put light on the law. And another thing I would advise you too, babes, is when you get your tickets to go back to Washington, I would also buy your return ticket at that time, just so it's locked in, because it could be one of those things to where it becomes packed if you wait until the last minute.
No, I understand, but if we're going, well, here's the thing though, if I'm going with my relative, I will be buying. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'm going to have to buy them separately, but I won't get them too far apart from each other.
Yeah, that way you can come back and I can come see you.
So I got to tell you about the experience I've had. I just recently got a really nice slow cooker. It's cute. It's a cute little one with a top, and it's a glass slow cooker, I believe. Anyway, so got this recipe for this chicken thighs recipe with lemon sauce, right?
Yep.
And this is really the first time I actually cooked with my relative in the kitchen. It was crazy.
Was this morning or last night?
No, we just finished.
Okay.
Well, we're not completely finished. We're not completely finished because.
Yeah, it's in the slow cooker.
Yeah, it's in the slow cooker cooking for the next, less than 3.5 hours now. It's on high.
Yeah.
So this is one of those recipes where I don't understand why you have to. So you know when you cook things in slow cookers, usually you don't have to fry it, or you don't have to brown it on the stove. But this one called for browning the chicken on both sides and putting it in what?
Sometimes with meat you want to cook it at kind of a higher temperature because it helps kill off the bacteria.
No, I understand, but but most of the time when you're looking at slow cooker recipes, it doesn't call for browning. You just put everything in there and you bring it. Yeah. A
little bit of clarification from my part. I've used a slow cooker many times, but I haven't made any meat in it.
Okay. Yeah, I figured you didn't.
That's why I would assume that you would do it, though. But keep going.
Yeah, so I was talking to my relative, and I said, yeah, I think I want to find something where I don't have to worry about cooking extra stuff on the stove unless I'm actually cooking something like an entire meal on the stove or the oven. But anyway, that's besides the point here. So that was going on, and then, understanding that she's been cooking longer than I have, she was kind of taking over. So I had to try to keep my cool because already I was really stressed out. And, I'm trying to use this thing, and it was a little bit stressful for me to say.
Do you feel like you can be honest with this relative about what happened today?
I kind of was a little bit, because there were things that were said before we did that, and I told her that I was, that I felt like I felt stressed out with what she was saying. And it had, right.
No, I'm saying, how did that go when you told her that?
I don't think we really addressed it, because she said something like, well, it's good to be stressed out when you're learning stuff. Maybe I don't agree with it either. I mean,
it's good to be aware and to be on your toes. Stressed out, I would disagree with, though.
Yeah. And then she kind of went on a little rant about, so my family has we have a family friend, nice lady. I think she's a special educator. And, we've talked about a lot of blind mannerisms that blind people, some are not aware of, right?
Right.
And, no blind person is perfect. And, and she was explaining to me about public appearance. I don't go into too many details, but, how people perceive me. And I made a point by saying things like, I said, you guys, and meaning my other relatives too, I said, you guys have told me this ever since I was little about what I'm supposed to do in public. And you don't know, but I said, when I'm by myself, I think about these things all the time, but when I'm at home, I don't want to think about it. I just want to relax. I don't want to think about being self-conscious when I'm in public. And just things like that,
If I understand you correctly, and I want you to stop me if I'm wrong, what I get from what you just said is your relative was trying to make it sound like, hey, you're not really dressed properly today or fixed up right. And your rationale was, yeah, but I'm not going outside today, and this is my house, and I kind of just want to lounge around because this is going to be a lazy Saturday.
No, not actually. You're close. It's not so much what I'm wearing. It's about like eating, sitting up straight, things of that sort. How presentable I am. If that makes any sense.
When you're in your own house on a Saturday and you're definitely not going outside.
No. Her point was that I should do it even if I'm in my house, make myself more presentable, even if I'm in my house, because then when I'm in public, I'll remember to do it. But what I was trying to hammer home is, I think about that stuff when I'm in public. It may not seem like it to her or anybody else in my family, because apparently people have been telling my family stuff. But I think about it. It's been drilled in my head ever since I was a little girl.
What do you mean telling your family stuff?
Oh, just little things about, what I'm doing, what I'm not, the things I'm not doing right when I'm eating, or things I'm not doing right when I'm looking at somebody, or how I'm positioned on.
Wait a second. I'm curious though. But who are these people telling your family stuff? Are they friends of the family?
Okay. Yes, a friend of the family has been saying that, and I didn't know because obviously I'm not the kind of person to say, hey, what has this person been saying about me, right? And it's, and maybe it's just gossip. I don't know, but I just don't think it's right. And then my mommy, my relative, whoever.
Your relative, you call mom, which is really your younger niece. Go ahead.
Well, it doesn't really matter at this point.
Go ahead.
But
yes.
The relative made a point saying, well, she feels guilt because she feels like there were things that she should have taught me and I didn't learn, or whatever it is. And now that I'm older, now she wants to help even more. And she means well, but it's like I kind of go back and forth with this. And I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a way to handle it because I don't want to get stressed out. I don't want to get angry. I'm not a person that gets angry very often, and I don't want to, lose my cool. So it's been a little bit, and then at last, after we talked about it, I had to say, can we talk about this later? And she respected it. She respected that, and I'm just like, I don't understand this whole rant. Why is it being brought up now? And who really cares?
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, well, who really cares what said family friend said?
Yeah, fuck them. But I don't know. But I kind of look at it.
Oh, well, I wouldn't go that route. I mean, I think she's a nice lady, but who cares?
Well, wait a second. How long has it been since you've seen this lady?
I haven't seen her in a long time. I think the last time I saw her was, I believe it was 2013. So I don't even know how recently this was. It might not have been that recent. So I'm not even sure why she even brought it up.
Hold on. So somebody told your relative that you did something that was a little bit off, and the closest example of this was at least 7 years ago, if not longer.
I don't even know how long it was. I think.
Right. Go with me. Am I correct? The closest example that this lady talked about your family member about you doing something wrong was at least 7 years ago, right?
It might have been. I don't know.
Okay. So, and if not longer. So it's kind of like, why bring this up now? I think that some people just freak out just to freak out. And
well, and I mean, the thing is, to me, the way I see it is, first off, if she's concerned, the family friend, and she is a very nice lady. I don't have any problems with her. But that's how she feels. And who cares about that? That's something I have to deal with.
Well, it's also maybe bring it up within the first 5 years. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, and she hasn't even seen her for a long time. I mean, this may have happened as far back as as far back as like 15 years ago.
Right. And also, I would have to know what was going on with you at that time. So maybe you had an ear infection. I've had this before, where this was actually right before we met. I was getting these really bad ear infections. And, as a blind person, you rely on your hearing. So it was kind of throwing off the way I was looking at people. And I knew it. And it was kind of throwing off my walking because I wasn't hearing right. Because I was having these weird wax buildups, right? So it's like maybe she had an ear infection. Maybe you had an ear infection when you saw her. Maybe you were just having an off day. Perhaps something else is going on, So it's only telling one part of the story. It's not taking everything into account to say you might have acted a little bit off this one time years ago.
Right. But the way that she sees it, it is a, what's the word I'm looking for? She feels like it is, it represents her because I'm her daughter. I'm her.
Your aunt. You're her auntie.
No. Let me rephrase this. It misrepresents her because I'm related to her, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I still say one up right now.
But at the same time, I mean, you would agree with me. At the same time, it's like a lot of people will talk, a lot of people will gossip for whatever reason, but it's not. I don't really care, honestly. I just have to deal with what I have to deal with. And if I'm doing something wrong, I'm doing something wrong. But they pretty much drilled it into my head as a kid. And, I mean, really, I can't tell you how many times.
Okay.
Was your mom...
Was my mom what? Was my mom what?
Let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you something really quick before you go on.
Yeah.
Was your mom really uptight about those kinds of things when you were growing up?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe it would come up, but I wouldn't say she was really uptight about that stuff.
Eating, the way your posture is.
No, I think my mom had bad posture too, though, just based on some stuff she would say.
Okay, so what were you going to say? And I have another question.
Okay. You have 2 more weeks of this, babes. Just, you know what you got to do. Just rough it out for 2 weeks, and then after Thanksgiving, come home and, kind of chill out,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just 2 more weeks, babes.
No, I know. I just feel very overwhelmed with this sometimes. It just frustrates me, and I mean, I don't really want to talk too much about my own stuff on this thing, but it is.
Okay.
It's very frustrating to me, and at my age, I shouldn't have to deal with it, honestly.
Yeah. But one could make the argument that this is a good reason why you should learn how to advocate for yourself more.
Right. It's very difficult for me sometimes. It's not so difficult when it comes to people that are strangers.
I hear you, babes.
You know what I mean? Because you don't have to, you can be business-like with them if you want. But if they're related to you, it's a totally different story.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, babes, just make it the 2 weeks. Come back by yourself, and you have to advocate for that. You have to do that. But you are 40 years old, and, just make that happen.
Yeah. I would imagine there's a lot of people in the blind community that go through the same thing, or maybe even worse.
I guess so. Well, okay, I joined the NFB in 2006, and a couple months later, I was over at a friend's house, and this is somebody who you've met, who I'm still friends with today, obviously. And he was playing the presidential address from that summer, right? So when they have nationals, NFB nationals in July, and he was playing the address, the recording of it, later on that year when I was over. And Dr. Maurer, who was the president of the NFB at the time, told the story of this 70-year-old who had, I might be getting a few of the details wrong, but I'll get the basic gist of it. This guy had lived at home his entire life, lived with relatives, and never learned how to travel on his own and never had any friends, and finally came to like an NFB convention like the year before. So he goes to the age of 70, never living a life.
Wow. That's a hard existence.
Yeah.
That's a very hard existence. It's possible, though. People can do that in their later years, but why wait?
Because his family was pressuring him. Or not pressuring him, but people don't know how to act, and, you know people are.
So let me ask you a question, okay, as a blind person, right? And I honestly, so when it comes to criticism, there's constructive criticism, and then there's cutthroat criticism. And there are times where people have, I'll just say relatives have criticized me, but they do it in a way that seems like it's the worst thing I could have done. Like, I don't know, like since we're talking about public representation, do you think it's possible that relatives do that? They kind of drill it into their kids' heads, and I'm talking about blind kids, because they're not doing it themselves?
It's possible, but it's also possible that they're really concerned about you. And some people just don't know what they're doing. Like, people always, I think when you're younger, you have this idea that your parents or relatives who are older than you know everything because they've been around a lot. And that's not always the case.
Yes,
yes,
not always
it's possible
the case.
that right. It's possible that they're trying to do the best they can, but they just don't know.
Yeah. I think for the most part they mean well, but the way that they're coming across is like browbeating.
Yes.
And browbeating is never a good thing.
Usually not, but sometimes it works.
It works to a certain extent, but if a woman or a man has been hearing this for all of their life, and they still feel the need to hammer it into their head as if they didn't know already, and the woman or man is already strong-willed. I mean, I've been very strong-willed ever since I was a kid. Stubborn, yes, very stubborn, good and bad, but yeah, hard-headed.
Hard-headed.
Did you say pig-headed?
I said thick-headed.
Thick-headed. Okay, thank you. I'm glad you cleared it up. Yeah, but it's kind of like pulling and pushing and pulling and pushing all the time.
But again, this goes back to, this is why you advocate for yourself. And you tell relatives in a kind way that, okay, I hear you, but you're going to have to do a little bit better than that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And you have 2 more weeks of this. You have 2 more weeks of this. You know. It sucks because, like, right now there's not a whole lot to do besides hang out with your relative, but it's 2 weeks. You know.
Yeah, and the good thing is that there are some things that are supposed to come. The rice cooker that's supposed to come is actually moved up to the 18th instead of today. It was supposed to come. On Thursday, but that wasn't going to happen.
We were talking on the phone that night. And it was 8 o'clock, and you said, the rice cooker is coming tonight. I'm so excited. To which I replied, that rice cooker is not coming tonight. And you were like, you don't know that.
Well, okay, you were right about that one, Buzz. I will give you that.
I was pushed back to the 18th, not up to the 18th. But I hear you, babes.
But, and then my tables are supposed to come on the 19th, both tables. So, by the time you visit, I'm going to have a brand new, it is a small dining table and a small coffee table, which will be perfect because it'll fit.
Right.
Yes.
Well, if all goes according to plan, I will visit in just under 3 weeks. Which I hate. I hate that it's that long, but
I know.
It is what it is. You got to get back from Thanksgiving on like Monday, chill out for a few days, and then I'll come over that next Friday.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So you go there for Thanksgiving, you stay the weekend, you come back Monday, and then on Friday I come over.
Yeah, yeah. It depends on it, and I depends on where I'm. Buzz.
Go ahead.
Listen.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I hope it does. I hope it does work because it depends on where I'm going to be coming from. Because most likely right now I'm not going to be coming from the drop-off place where I usually come from, because it's closer to the Canadian border.
Okay. Well, then you get if you're going to get a ride. I'm assuming when you go to Thanksgiving, a relative is going to pick you up then, right?
Yes.
All right. Have that relative drop you off at the location on the way back and catch a ride from there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I think what might happen is I'm going to go to another relative. Hold on, just listen. Don't jump to conclusions like you've done
go
before.
Ahead. I'll be back on the
there is.
Oh.
Go on.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Bates. I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Bates. I'm listening.
Okay. So there is a relative who lives close to a train station where I could get on the train and it wouldn't take as long for me to get back to Portland.
Nice.
She's close to the Tacoma, Washington area.
Good.
And that would be, that's like, I think, that's south of Seattle, but that means that if I go take the Tacoma train, then I have a little bit of a quicker time to get to Portland than if I was traveling from like Everett, Washington or something.
I like that, babes. I like this relative in Tacoma, even though I've never met her. I'm sure she's a nice woman. Is she a nice woman? Do we like this relative? Or okay, we do.
Yes,
okay.
I'm very close to this relative and her family. Actually, she's in Federal Way, Washington.
Okay.
Which is
that means close to nothing to me. Is that close to Tacoma?
It's not too far, not too terribly far. It's south of Seattle as well.
We like this relative. My vote is that you stay there. You hook it up ahead of time so you get back a few days before I see you, and you chill out, okay?
Well, either way, if I go to Seattle or Tacoma,
yes,
we'll figure it out. So
yes,
I'll get there.
Oh goodness, yes.
Oh goodness.
Yes, because I need my Jaylo, and yes, that would be the two of us in like 3 weeks, babes.
Yeah.
By then, we'll put all this social distancing inside the house stuff aside, because I gotta have some fun there, Jaylo.
Yes, Bubs.
I got all this pent up energy, babe. So I was talking to my shrink the other day, right? And this was before the new restrictions came into play. But, things have been stressful there for a while now, since March. And it doesn't seem like they're getting a lot better. So we were talking about things, and he says, it's okay to go to old things that you like for comfort. So because it's like whatever keeps you from being stressed out in this environment, 9 times out of 10 is a good thing. And of course, I'm paraphrasing what he said, but I'm giving you the general idea of it.
Yes.
So it's fun to watch old movies by myself, or listen to cool stuff. But at the end of the day, I do kind of want to spend some time with you.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Did you bring that up in your conversation?
We did not go into you. We talked, mainly just about life in general and how things had changed, and all that stuff. I did bring up Ice Cube, though.
Okay.
Yes, because one of the examples I said, so if somebody wants to listen to an Ice Cube CD because that reminds them of their childhood, in this environment, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it isn't, because like I've said in the past, this is one of those times where I like to listen to something that will help me reflect, or read something that will keep me grounded. And I was just, so speaking of music, I was listening to some Martina McBride yesterday, and I like her stuff. I like some of her songs. Some of the songs she's been around since I was in high school, I believe.
I know her name. I don't know her stuff, though.
Yeah, I like her songs. I'm not like, I don't know all of the stuff that she's done, because she's been around for a while. She's one of those, I like listening to her songs, too, if I need to hear, like, a story or something like that, because I like country songs that have stories in them. Just makes you think about stuff.
Yeah, but you're not like a bride head, though. That's what they call her super bride head.
Really?
No, I don't know.
How do you? I don't know. I know that super Jimmy Buffett fans are called parrot heads.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't go that far. No. But I do like. I am a fan of her music, but I'm not like a super fan. Does that make any sense?
It does.
Because I can be a fan of somebody's work, but not be obsessed over it.
True. There are some artists where you just are. You appreciate their work. Sometimes you'll go back to it, but they're not in your top 10 favorites artists.
No. Mm-mm. But I listen to some of her stuff, because some of her things take me back to a time where I'm like, oh, I remember this song when I was a teenager, and life was a little more simple, and it just transports me back to a different time in my life that was a lot more simpler and carefree.
That's good, babes.
Kind of de-stresses me. Music de-stresses me.
I love good music. I've been listening to a lot of music recently. But, I really say recently, I listen to music all the time, even when we're not in the pandemic.
I suggest that you read Musicophilia by Oliver Sacks, because that was one of the textbooks that I read, and there's a section that talks about music and the blind. Something very special about that, but I think you should read it. It's a really good book.
Yeah, I've read other things by him that I've liked. I don't know if there's anything really special about when blind people listen to music, though, because it's like my sister feels pretty much like I do about music, and she's sighted. You know what I mean? I know sighted people who are just as into music as I am.
Yeah, well, I would agree with you, but I think what they're trying to get at is that, I don't know, blind people, maybe it's because blind people take things in differently than sighted people, I guess.
Okay. But they always like to say that. They always like to make it like, oh, since you're blind, your hearing must be so much better, or you're so much more intuitive than sighted.
Read the book.
Jaylo.
Don't jump to conclusions. I don't like it when people do that either, but I would just suggest that you read the book because
I'll give it a shot.
It is really interesting. There's another book that I read, and I don't remember who wrote it. I think it's called This Is Your Brain on Music. That's a good one, too.
Yes. There we go, babes.
Yeah. Yeah, it says a lot.
Yes, it does, babes.
Right.
Yes, it does. I was rewatching Pump Up the Volume when you called.
Did you? Were you really? Which part?
Yeah. Well, I was rewatching it from the beginning. It's where I started, but I was at the point it was like right before they go to the PTA meeting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that when he goes with his parents and he's sitting in the back and he's hearing everything that's going on about the DJ, the mystery DJ behind the microphone?
Happy Harry Hardon.
Right.
Yes.
And how different he is how it's just a contrast how different he is in person at school, but when he's on the radio waves, he's somebody else.
Yes, be a boss.
He was really good in that movie.
Oh my God, he's incredible in that movie.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great in that. I mean, my two favorite movies of Christian Slater's are Pump Up the Volume as number one, and then number two has to be True Romance.
Okay, I think you told me about that one.
That's a great, with him, and then Val Kilmer plays Elvis, and what's her name, Patricia Arquette is in it as his girlfriend, who's like an ex-hooker.
Oh, is that supposed to be a comedy? Because I don't remember seeing it.
It's a dark comedy, I would say.
So he plays.
And Dennis Hopper is his dad.
Who?
Dennis Hopper plays Christian Slater's dad.
So he is Elvis?
No, babes.
Okay,
Val Kilmer plays Elvis in the movie.
Yes,
or
yes.
What Christian Slater thinks is Elvis, and Christian Slater is this guy who falls in love with, I think she's an ex-hooker, or she's leaving the business, and the ex-hooker is Patricia Arquette.
Okay, I see, okay. That's gotta be weird.
I love the movie. I think it's great. But that's my second favorite Christian Slater film after Pump Up the Volume.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. By the way, Jaylo, I got a text from a friend of mine who I'm going to call Mom, just so we keep it on the level.
You're going to call, you okay?
I'm going to call this friend Mom, just so we keep it on the level, even though my friend is a guy, right? But Mom texted me this morning and said that he watched The Treasure of the Sierra Madre and really enjoyed it.
Oh, good. Is this the first time your friend watched it?
Yeah, this is the first time Mom's seen it. But he did like it, though.
Why aren't you just calling him sir?
Well, I know that you were calling this relative of yours Mom, so I thought maybe it would help us connect if I called my friend Mom.
Well, you could have called him Dad.
Mom's a really good guy.
That would be kind of weird.
Yeah, Mom's a really good guy, though.
Okay.
What else, babes? Which reminds me.
Do I know this mom, so-called mom?
You've met Mom before. Yeah, you have. Jaylo.
Yes.
We're doing this on Thursday, November 14th, and
today's Saturday.
Why did I say? Yeah,
I don't know why you said that. Today's Saturday.
What else? And Thursday, November 12th, was the 5-year anniversary of the death of my real mom, not my friend who I call Mom.
Right. And I asked you some questions about that, and so how do you feel? I mean, I may be repeating myself, but how do you feel 5 years later? Do you feel like you have have started to move on, or that you have been moving on for a while now? And do you feel like you've come to acceptance of that?
Yes, I do. I remember when my mom first died, starting the next day, I thought to myself, now I'm one of those people with a dead parent, right? Now I'm one of those people who doesn't have a mom anymore. And it felt kind of odd. But as time goes by, it's just become a normal part of life.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of how I felt, when I lost my uncle.
Right.
And I know that he isn't my parent, but this happened so suddenly. Christmas Eve, 2007. That's when everything just, did not think that this was going to happen to him. And he was in Kuwait. And this accident that happened to him didn't happen in battle. It happened on the way to a base. But what I am thankful for is that after it happened, he wasn't awake to feel anything.
That's good. That's good.
And so it's possible that even though his death was declared days later, he may have been already gone by that time.
My feelings about how I want to die is basically that I don't care how it happens, but I just want it to happen so quickly that my brain doesn't have time to interpret what's going on and that I don't feel any pain.
As do I, but I think my ideal way for me to go is in my sleep, because then I would just be, everything would just shut down and I would be gone.
My mom died in her sleep.
Yeah, that's the ideal way for me to go. So did I ever tell you that I took this lifespan development class in college?
I don't think so.
So it was called Lifespan Development from the Cradle to the Grave. So we studied, the development of babies and how they start talking and things of that sort, and then to childhood, adolescence, to the 20s and 30s and young adulthood, and then to middle age, like from 45 or 41 on up, and then how what happens during retirement, after retirement, and then we talked about the centenarians, how there are some centenarians that are still alive, and then we talk about what death, and that was a hard thing to talk about because there are, we hear about these horrible stories about how people die, and it's unexpected, and it's at the hands of somebody else. And then we also talked about dying in your sleep, and how some people may think that some people think it is probably the most ideal way. And I thought about it, and I'm like, that's the way I'd like to go. Just sleeping, not knowing, my brain completely shutting off and everything else shutting down.
That is one way to go, babe. Can I give you another way to go? That dying in my sleep could definitely work, but I'll give you another scenario.
Yes.
I'm with you. We're messing around. I stick it in. We're going after it. We're getting pretty wild. We're staking the bed, and then I just check out in the middle of it.
Bubs?
What?
That's only in your fantasy.
Well, it could happen that way, babes. I'm just saying, babes.
I wouldn't want to be the cause of somebody's stuff.
Well, then I imagine, too, how do you get me out of you at that point?
Bubs! Okay, I think we should change the subject now. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know.
I
heard that's how Matthew McConaughey's dad died.
Huh?
Yeah, supposedly his dad was making love to his mom, and he died during the act.
And they were still married by that time.
Yes.
Both parents. And was this
That's
recently?
what I. No, this was. I think he was actually shooting. God, what was his first? Dazed and Confused. I think that's when it happened.
That was a long time ago.
Yes, it was. That was his first movie.
Was that in the 80s?
No, that came out in '93. And oddly enough, that I saw that with my mom because she had watched it with my sister and really liked it. So she took me to see it.
I heard of the movie, but I don't believe I saw it, and I heard it was good.
It's okay. I might like it better now. At the time, I really wasn't that impressed. And then we watched it in high school, and I thought it was a little bit better. So I don't know how I'd react to it if I saw it again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you remember the premise?
If I remember correctly, and again, it's been years since I've seen it, it's this teenager in like the mid to late 70s, and it's the first day of summer vacation. So it's about him going out and spending time at this party and the hijinks that ensue. And it ends with him coming home early the next morning and his mom saying, "Hey, I know what's going on. You get a free pass this time, dude. But next time, you better like call me and let me know that you're not coming home or something like that."
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But it was done by Richard Linklater, who is a pretty good director.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, you know what we still need to watch, babes, that he did is the movie Boyhood.
I think I heard of that movie.
You might have heard of it from me. It's a really good movie.
I think I did. Is it one of those like independent films? Because I think you were the one who told me about it.
I don't know if I'd say it's an independent film, but it's definitely on the more creative and cheaper end of, studio movies.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really, really good.
Yeah, sometimes you get some real movie gems from the movies that may not have made it to like the box office or whatever you call it.
May not have been huge success.
Right. You can find a lot of gems.
Absolutely.
I do want to show you. I want to show you Center Stage. That's a fun movie. I told you about it's about a ballet company. These people that were a part of a ballet company, and I think there were two companies that were in competition with each other, and all the hijinks that ensue. I mean, it's a drama, but there's also some funny things in it.
I do want to watch that.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to go back to doing our movie nights, babe.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And plus, it gives us a lot to talk about too.
And of course, there's more books to read. I'm not done with mine.
No, I know, babes.
Yes.
I know that you.
I'm really enjoying my book. So the last thing I was reading was a story about a woman who is associated with the Blythe family. Her name is Penelope Craig, and she is a child psychologist. And her cousin Marta adopt two boys, and all the things that happen there. It's kind of interesting.
You mean they adopt them together, or they each adopt a boy?
No, they adopt. Well, so Penelope adopts them, and her cousin is helping her raise them because they're two old maids, pretty much. I think she does end up marrying one of the doctors, but it's implied that Penelope ends up marrying one of the doctors who is a friend of Dr. Gilbert Blythe. And but it's a fun story. It's a fun story.
Good, babes.
And the poems that are in the book are are nice too.
It'll be nice to read books with you again. Hopefully soon, babes.
Oh, yes. Definitely. I really enjoy reading. I really enjoy listening to books on the train. It's really fun to do.
I imagine podcasts are good for that too.
Well, I haven't tried that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I like listening to books.
Okay.
Or if I have my computer out, I'll listen to music on it, or I'll listen to a movie that I downloaded.
Nice, babes.
Right.
That's good stuff, babes. How are you doing now? Do you feel like you've calmed down a little bit and you're a little bit more excited about the rest of the day?
Oh yeah. I'm a little bit more calm. I am excited about what how our dinner is going to turn out. I still have some leftovers because I bought some Mexican food last night.
Ooh.
From a Mexican place called Muchas Gracias.
Were they any good?
Yes, I still have to finish my burrito. My relative got this chimichanga that was bigger than what I got.
Oh.
I ordered it. It was really good. I only went to Muchas Gracias once. I think it's the one that's not too far from where I am. And I like their taco salad. I had a taco salad. That's when I went. That was a few years ago when I went with a friend. Yeah, they have good food and they give you a lot, depending on what you're ordering. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear
but
that.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Jaylo,
mm-hmm.
Have you been having any interesting dreams recently?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. The one that I had, very recently, which was, probably the other night, was really weird. Do you want me to tell you that dream, or do you want to tell yours, if you had one?
Let me tell mine first, because I rarely get to participate in these, and then I'll let you go off on a dream tangent. So
okay.
I got up early yesterday morning and was walking around my apartment because there's not a whole lot to do because of the apocalypse. We all know that. And then finally around 8 a.m., I fell back asleep, and for an hour, I had this weird dream. You and I were at this coffee shop. It may have been Starbucks. It may have been a ripoff of that organization. In any event, we were in downtown Denver, and you decided to go to the train station. But I was still hungry, so I went searching for food. I'm walking around downtown Denver. My phone rings. It's you. And we're talking about what possible places I could go to. I say that there's an Arby's near the end of this block, but there's another restaurant a few doors down that I'm considering going to. You come out from behind me. I turn around and you say to me, okay, well, I want you to go to Arby's. Get whatever you want for yourself, but get a milkshake for me and for this one guy who's at the train station. I think it's weird, but okay, so I go into the Arby's. There's a line. Eventually I get to the front of it, and the cashier is kind of rude, so I end up leaving without getting the shakes or any food for myself, and then I woke up.
That is odd.
Yes.
I had a weirder dream. Well, maybe it's not quite as weird as yours. So I had a dream that I was going to the train station in Portland because my sister was coming in and my family was with me. But the odd thing about that dream is that somebody was at the train station who, it was implied in her dream that they were friends, and the guy that she was friends with was my former celebrity crush.
Uh-oh.
Home
the
Improvement.
Lion King dude?
Yes. Yes.
Jonathan
Which is really odd. What?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, okay.
Okay. Well.
Who hates Filipinos.
How do you know that?
Because he gave a controversial interview in the late 1990s where he starts talking against Filipino culture.
Bubs, are you going to let me tell my story, or are you going to make up stories of your own?
You think I made that up?
Yes.
I did make that up. I don't. He probably doesn't have any problem with Filipinos. But keep going, baby.
Anyway, it was implied that they were friends, which was really odd because she doesn't know him. And so she introduces him to me, and I was like, oh, this is so weird. Well, sometime during that train station meeting, I fall on the floor. I don't know how long I was out, and I could kind of hear what he was saying. He was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And
he was like, he said, "I know you're Filipino, but I still don't want you to die here because it's going to look really bad for me."
Bugs.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Shush, you. Shush.
No. Okay, I don't know.
And so I guess I was unconscious for I don't know how long. I was able to hear some things. And if I remember correctly, I think he picked me up, carried me to a chair. He sat down on the chair, and he was holding me on my lap. I don't know why. And then I woke up. That's all I remember.
Yeah,
it was very weird.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I just did not. I wasn't even thinking about this person because I haven't been. Believe me, I have not been. But
well, I mean, everybody has a celebrity, so I don't care.
That's good because most likely I'll never meet this person ever.
Yeah, it's like your celebrity crush is the dude from Home Improvement, and mine is AOC. So everybody has their own,
I thought it was Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh yeah, and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yeah, AOC and Sarah Michelle Gellar are my
AOC, really? Okay.
Of course, yeah. But more Sarah Michelle Gellar when she was Buffy, not now. But yeah.
Well, wait a minute. I thought it was, wasn't it Christina Ricci or...
I do like Christina Ricci too. Okay, Christina Ricci, classic Sarah Michelle Gellar, and AOC. Those are my three celebrity crushes.
Yeah, we all have our celebrity dreams, don't we?
Yes.
What was I going to say? I had another question.
Go ahead.
What? Yes, that was the dream I had last night. It was very strange. Yeah. It's so funny though. I wonder. Oh, here's my question. I always wonder how celebrities meet, like their husbands or their wives, especially if they're not in Hollywood, if they're not acting at all, and they're just lay people.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'm not sure how that works. I don't think that happens too often, though, to be honest. Usually celebrities marry people who are in their orbit,
Who are celebrity in their own right.
Yeah, or who are somehow connected to that world. So, like, what's her name? Julia Roberts. Her husband is not famous, but I believe that he used to work on movie sets. So he's sort of like in the sphere of possibilities.
Right, and her first husband was singer Lyle Lovett.
That's right.
And they weren't even married that long.
There's a great Norm Macdonald joke on SNL where he's like, Julia Roberts filed for divorce from Lyle Lovett this week, and she said that she realized the marriage was over when she came to terms with the fact that she was Julia Roberts and he was Lyle Lovett. And then he showed like a picture of Lyle Lovett. It was funny. It made me laugh.
What was it? What was in the picture?
I forget. It was just like a picture of him looking like, some weird dude or something. Usually I don't like jokes like that, but he's really good at telling jokes.
Oh, really? Okay.
I do wonder if that's how their marriage ended. She's like, I'm Julia Roberts, but he's Lyle Lovett.
That's kind of funny, actually. Yeah, there is a song that I only know one song from Lyle Lovett. You should look it up. It's called She's No Lady. It's funny.
Is it about her?
Not about her, no. No. It pays homage to every bossy wife in the world. That's all I have to say.
Oh. So it's not
anyway,
just about
it's not about her at all. I mean, they weren't even married for that long.
She might have been a little bit bossy. Come on.
I mean, they might have been married for like 2 days. I don't know.
No, I think it was like a couple of years.
Yeah, and then they divorced, and she got married to Danny Moder and had kids with him.
Oh.
That's what I see. I heard she was really pretty, though.
She's okay. I mean,
okay.
she was never like, yeah, she's not like the most beautiful woman in the world, but she's okay.
Okay, so I'm curious because you do have some vision. I know we're kind of going off the celebrity thing, but
Go ahead.
I don't know. I may not have asked you this. I may have asked you this maybe somewhat in the past, but what is your type, like as far as like feature wise and things like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I like women who are skinny. That's a big thing for me. I like skinny women, even if they're a little bit like bony because they don't have enough meat. I don't know. I don't really have a type. I mean, I like women who are. I'll go out with women who are like white, but I like women with darker skin. If I have my preference.
Right.
I don't really.
You like a little bit of it.
Yeah, and I like long hair. I like a nice chest. That's really about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yes, dear boys.
Yes. I didn't have to know about the other part, but I understood it. Do you like the darker hair, the lighter hair, or does it matter?
If I had my preference, darker hair. But it also is one of those things. You've heard my celebrity crushes.
Yes.
You know, Sarah Michelle Gellar has blonde hair. It's like dishwater blonde. So it's like, it's not a set in stone thing with me, like it is with some people.
Okay, because some people look really nice with blonde hair.
Yeah.
Or brown hair. You know, it all depends. As for me, I look better with black hair.
Yes, dear boys.
That's my color, black hair. That's my natural hair color. Okay.
That's good.
I heard that when some people get older, some people look really nice with like silver hair.
I guess.
Yeah, that's what I hear, or salt and pepper hair.
Okay.
I kind of wonder how mine's going to turn out.
I don't know, babes. The apocalypse might come before that, but we'll see what happens.
I don't think it's quite the apocalypse. I think the apocalypse is worse than this.
Oh, well, I'm sure it is, but this might be the beginning of it.
I don't know. But anyway, but yeah, my the groceries came at a really good time. I was able to get them here by 11, which is really good. Yeah, so I'm happy about that. Got some veggies and I forgot to mention. Did I mention about the smoothie experiences that I had?
No, you didn't.
Okay. So when I was visiting family just a couple weeks ago, I just discovered that I had some gadgets that I didn't know that I still had because I thought they were gone. And one of the things I have is a hand blender, which still works, by the way, after all these years. And I made a couple smoothies, not completely on my own because I had some help, but they turned out really good. I just used this morning, for example, I just used apple juice as a base, and I put some strawberry, mango, and pineapple, and I had some berries in there. It turned out really good, too. Nice and thick and all that. It was really good.
Nice. That's good, babe.
Yeah.
And, you don't need help to make smoothies, babe.
No, it was just because my relative wanted to make sure that I was...
Oh, God. Okay, one of those things.
You know what I mean. Well, I mean, this
was
the first time I was really using the blender, Bubs.
Well, they're not that complicated alone.
Bubs.
I'm just saying there, Jaylo. I'm just saying there.
Well, it's... Bubs.
What?
Yeah, well, it is pretty easy to use once I got it. It's
yes.
pretty easy to use. I now have a kitchen that has a whole bunch of gadgets in there. I've got a cooker for eggs. I've got my hand blender. I have a slow cooker. I'm getting a rice cooker soon. I also have a vegetable chopper.
Okay, so I have a question for you that we talked about maybe outside of this. I'm not sure when we talked about this, so it's possible it came up earlier in another episode. But the relative who is staying with you lives in the Philippines and is talking about moving back. And you had expressed some concern about, well, how much time is she going to want to spend with me when she comes back to the mainland? And I'm just curious if you've had that conversation with her yet.
It hasn't come up as of yet.
Okay.
Because I'm still kind of, dealing with what's going on right now. And it's just been a little bit, it's been nice, but it's also been a little bit hectic and stressful for me.
Yes.
So I'm trying to handle what's going on, but it hasn't come up yet.
But it will come up, though?
I'm sure eventually it will.
Okay. You're going to make it clear to her that she's not going to be your new roommate.
No, that just cannot happen. No.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Yeah, she has, she has other family members to visit, so,
Yes. And I'm sure you will remind her of that during the Thanksgiving weekend.
Yes.
Yes. Very good, babes. With Jaylo.
Yes.
Is there anything else you wanted to discuss?
No, I think we had a really good discussion, and I was able to get some things off my chest that I'm thankful that you really heard what I had to say, and apparently so does anyone who listens to this.
Yes. Well, I'm thankful that you felt open enough to share with me your feelings, babe.
Yeah, I feel really open enough to share with you my feelings, especially because we are from the same community.
Yes.
It's something that I would not be able to share with a lot of sighted people unless they've been around a lot of blind people. You know what I mean?
Yes, babe. Oh, I hear you.
Or unless they work with them.
Yeah.
But I feel good talking to you about it because you probably experienced some of the things that I have, or maybe you haven't, but at least you understand.
That's right, babes. That's right.
But I feel better now.
That's good, babe. Well, I just sat up, so if you heard my couch, that's why, because I just sat up and I have an old creaky couch. But you were about to say, babe.
Yes. Well, I do feel better than I did last night, by the way. So I'm not so much in a bad mood. I was just upset last night. That's all.
Yeah, because the restrictions had just come out.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't. I think I was just more frustrated than anything and irritated, and I feel a little bit better today.
I get that.
Yeah.
All right, Jaylo, I should probably let you go and hang out with your relatives some more. Get lectured about something else that went wrong 10 years ago.
Oh my goodness. I don't understand. But anyway, yeah. But
I love you, babe.
But if I will try to catch you later tonight, and if not, I'll call you tomorrow.
Sounds good, babes.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I hope you have a good afternoon, whatever you do.
Yes, the same to you, babes.
What are you going to do?
Well, right now I'm listening to a train outside of my window. And, I don't know, maybe eat some lunch. I made some baked spaghetti earlier.
Yeah.
So
I think I might eat my burrito. Because I am kind of hungry right now. But all right.
All right, babes. I love you.
Okay, I love you too. I will catch you later.
Sounds good, babes.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.